Hi, today on Cooking with Celestine, I'm going to show you guys how to make an incredibly delicious Chilean bread. It's called pan amasado, which is kind of like a country bread. And now, the recipe. So let's start. First of all, we're going to grab 1 tablespoon of dry yeast and we're going to add it to the bowl that I have here in the middle. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar. I already have it measured here, so I'm going to add it in. And then 1 cup of warm water. And then we're going to mix all of this together. And once it's all mixed together, we're going to let it sit for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I like to do, which is I like to add in a little bit of flour to it before I let it sit for 10 minutes. That helps with the rise of the yeast. It's about, I add like a little bit about, I would say like a tablespoon. And then I mix all that together, just like this. Okay, and now we're gonna wait 10 minutes and then we'll continue. Okay, so now we can see how the yeast has risen with the flour in it. That's exactly how we want it to look. Perfect. So now we're ready to mix everything together. So in this big bowl here, I have 6 cups of flour. I love using the bread flour. You don't have to use this kind, but this is what I prefer to use. And if you want it gluten-free, all you have to do is get gluten-free flour. So super easy to adjust. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add 1 tablespoon, which I already have measured here, of salt. I love using kosher salt, so that's what I'm gonna add in here. I'm gonna sprinkle it in like that. And then with a spoon, I'm going to stir this in, just like that. And then next, I'm going to add 2 cups of warm water, which I already have measured in here. And then we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of vegetable shortening. I prefer using the vegetable shortening, but if you'd like to use a different kind, that works as well. And lastly, we're gonna add the yeast mixed with the sugar, the warm water, and a little bit of flour. And now we're going to stir all of this together, nice and gently. And if you notice on the side, I have a cup of flour here because in total we're going to use about 7 cups of flour. So I like making sure that I have it ready. And at the same time, I don't like to put all of the flour in the bowl right away because you kind of have to feel the dough and see as you're mixing everything together if it needs more dough or not. And now at this point, I'm gonna do the rest with my hands. It's the best way so that you can feel the dough and kind of see. Right now it's sticky, that's normal, that's fine. You just need to add more flour a little bit at a time. And I'm about ready to transfer it over to the counter. I just like to make sure that the dough isn't sticking to my hands too much before I transfer it over to the counter. So now I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour over on my counter, which is nice and clean. Make sure that it's nice and clean before you guys do this. And I'm gonna grab the dough and transfer it over and start kneading the bread. I feel like it needs just a little bit more, so I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more on it, just like that. And I like leaving some aside like I did there. And we're just gonna keep kneading it. Okay, so it seems like the dough is ready. And now we're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna use some clingy wrap to cover it up because we don't want it to dry out. just like that. So 10 minutes. Okay, so 10 minutes have passed, so now we're gonna go ahead and uncover the dough. It looks great. And we're gonna be using a food scale to measure the dough, the rolls of dough. However, if you don't have one, don't worry about it because I'll show you about the right size that it needs to be. So we're just gonna measure out all this dough until we're done with it. And it's about the same size, a little smaller actually than a tennis ball, I would say. Okay, so now I have 16 pieces here, and I'm going to grab my cheesecloth, and I'm gonna cover most of these up. If you don't have a silicone mat, which is what I'm using on this cookie sheet here, don't worry about it. You can use parchment paper, that works just fine. Or you can use just a little bit of oil spray and a little bit of flour on top, and that works as well. The thing I like about the silicone mats though is that I'm not using any spray, so it's much nicer that way. So now we're going to puncture holes in the dough, just like this. And then with an egg white, we're gonna dip the brush in like that. And we're just going to brush the egg white gently onto the dough. This kind of seals it and prevents it from cracking. It's also going to help give color to our bread. Now, if you're watching this and you happen to be vegan, just skip this step. You don't have to use this. And now I'm just going to cover this up like this for 10 minutes. And I'm going to grab my water bottle and I'm going to spray a little bit of water on top, just like this. You're gonna wanna do that with each tray and leave it like that for 10 minutes. Okay, so now we're just gonna uncover it, remove the cheesecloth, and we're ready to put it in our preheated oven, which is at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. 200 Celsius, in case you're somewhere else. It's gonna be in there for about 20 minutes. What we're looking for is for it to be nice and golden. Okay, it's been 20 minutes and it's time to get our bread out of the oven. Look at that, gorgeous, beautiful, nice and golden. Okay, let's take the other one out. Beautiful, golden. That's exactly how we want our bread to look. Okay, now we're going to slice the bread open. Oh, look at that, guys. That's exactly how you want it. Perfection. I'm gonna give it a little try. I'm gonna put some butter on it. It looks beautiful. It tastes so good. The thing I love about this the most is it's like childhood memories living in Chile. This is the bread that I grew up with, you know? And even though I'm not in Chile, hey, I can make it anywhere. And that's the whole idea of this video, is to show you guys that you can make it. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share, and you can find me on social media as Cocinando con Celestine. That's on Instagram and Facebook as well. And if you have any other suggestions on any other recipes from Chile or somewhere else that you would like me to make, let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to make a video for you guys. Until next time.